Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope that one will be fine, and welcome back to this part number 2. So in this video I'm going to explain to you about the Angular. Now we are going to work with the front end. In my last video, if you have watched it, so that's where we have learned about how we can create the basic authentication using Laravel as a backend. So in this video I'm going to explain to you that how we can work with the Angular with the front end. And in this video I'm going to also cover about a very basic structure. We will create our components, we will create our models, and just create some routes for navigating our pages. So I think this video will cover only basic structure of this whole application. We will use Bootstrap as a framework which help us to create our very basic looking form for the login and the register. So that's what we are going to cover in this video. So let's first look for the basic installation for the Angular. So before you should jump directly to it, so make sure you have your Node.js installed, and that will be very helpful for running your npm install. And make sure you have your Node.js installed, and if you're using recommended version, that will be fine. And if you're using the current version, still have no issues, I believe. Right, so you can also watch other videos which have ton of knowledge on the YouTube. You can get off in the basic installation, but I hope that it's very simple. All right, so let's get started here, and I have done this a lot in my last couple of videos. I have a mean stack video. I have also have the CRUD operation on using the lamb stack. So this is everything which covered in this, which I have covered already in my other videos. So you can also watch off one of them, right? So let's go inside the getting started here, and let's click on this card, and you see here very basic installation. So let's first install that npm install, right? So I'm going to open up my git bash here. So I'm using here git bash. So you can install that simply by going git-scm.com and just simply paste it up here, or you can use your local window command terminal. That's still fine, right? So let's just put that in, and this is going to install the npm install globally. -e means globally, and angular/CLI, right? So this is going to install the globally. And now next command that I need here is ng-new and the name of the app, right? So let's gonna run that right after that. All right, so I believe this is going to take some time, so I will be right back once it's installed. Okay, so the npm is installed globally. Now the next command that I need to run is the ng and new and the name of the application. So this is going to give whatever the name you feel convenient. So I just give it the auth_frontend, right? So let's give it the name of auth_frontend, but make sure that it should be not underscore, it should be dash, right? So you have to follow the rules. So just simply press enter, and I will be right back once it's installed. All right, guys, so welcome back here. So now our Angular application has been installed successfully. So I'm going to open up with the git bash here again, and I just need to simply type here code dot, and that's going to open up your beautiful code editor, which is VS Code, which I use. And this helps us to actually, why I'm using VS Code, because that provides a lot of extensions. It's very easier to write code on it. So that's the first preference, that why I use VS Code. So now our Angular application, a very basic structure I'm going to explain to you if you want to learn in full detail about that. So you can also watch my course on Angular, where I have explained everything about the structure and how to create component and everything. So I believe most of the stuff that we do very basic. So still I try my level best as always to make things simpler and easy to understand, right? So first we go to the structure. At the same time I need to run my Angular, so I just need to just ng serve, and that's going to run your Angular application on your system, right? So it's open on the port number 4200, localhost 4200, right? So we're gonna see at the same time, right? So how you're gonna open up the terminal, by simply pressing Control and the tilde, which is left to the number 1, or you can simply go to the view, and that's where you can click on the terminal, right? So there are two ways. So the structure is remain the same. So we have our source, app, and app consists of the component, which consists of 4 files: CSS, HTML, and the testing file, which is specs.ts, and the component.ts file. That's where we can have our objects there, right? So next very important file is the app.module.ts file. So this file contains the Angular core and the browser module, for the browser, and every component that we will create, it will automatically import here and add up inside your declarations array, right? So the imports where we will add our module like forms module, imports, browser module. So that's where we're gonna add our imports. So, and next we will also add up our routing for the routes. So we will also look up there, right? So this is a very basic structure, and let's gonna see that Angular is now successfully built. And now let's open up on the port number localhost, port number 4200, and once I press enter, and this is going to run our Angular application, right? So that's the basic installation for the Angular. Now next thing I'm going to do here is to go inside my text editor, VS Code, and let's create our very basic components here. So I'm going to create the components like the register component, and then the login component, and next we will create the routings inside the app.module.ts file. I'm going to use Bootstrap here as well. So let's go inside first the getbootstrap.com and add the CDN inside our index.html file. So I'm going to just simply grab the CSS file here, and let's go inside your index.html. So this should be inside your source, and just simply go right here and add inside your just underneath the link. So that's it for the Bootstrap, right? Now the next thing that I need as well, might be I just need it for my Navbar. So you can also add up the JavaScript bundle as well. So just grab that too and add it just right after the app-root. So here you see you have something which is known as app-root, and everything that you see on the browser, it's all coming from the app-component.html file. So let's gonna go inside your app.component.html, and that's whatever you see on the boilerplate of the browser. It's basically loading up from here, and this app-root, which is coming from the selector, that's gonna open up inside your app.component.ts file, and that's your selector. And you see inside the component decorator, so everything that is inside the selector, your template URL, which is loading the HTML file, and the style URL as well, right? And the title that you see here, the Angular app, right? Or whatever the name of your application. So if I just type here, so might be in your case, it should be auth Frontend, whatever the name of your project, but I just changed that. So you can change it something like, if I just change that to test and just go to my browser, and you see here that it's gonna show me the test app is running, right? So that's where you see that title is basically coming dynamically, right? So I believe we are good to go here, and so next thing I'm going to do here is to just do few changes inside. So I'm going to do here is to create my component using the terminal, and that's where we can do some further changes, right? So let's remove everything from the app.component.html file. I just remove everything from here, and if I go back to my browser, you see everything just disappear, right? So let's create here a container, which is a Bootstrap class, for just adding some space and adding some margins. So, and I just created here a container, and then we will also create here a row, and inside row I'm going to create here a column of with as well with the margin -5 from the top, and I also add some padding from the margin bottom 5. And inside here, I'm going to create something which is known as router-outlet, which help us to route our pages. So I have to create here two components, the login and the register one. So let's create that. So I'm going to open up the end of the terminal with this plus, or you can use the git bash as well. So it's all up to you. So whatever you feel comfortable with that. So I'm going to use the VS Code terminal, and let's create here the very first component. So ngg for C for component, which is a shortcut. You can write complete component, which mine I don't like, so I just keep that simple. So C for component, and the name of the component in my case should be login, right? So let's create that first. So every component that you will create, it will add up inside our source app, and there you go. So you see here a folder which again consists of all 4 files, right? And that component will be automatically imported inside your app.module.ts. So you see here that login component, and it will automatically add inside your decorations array, right? So that's for the login, and same thing that I need for the register. So let's create here a register. And I believe not in that video we will also create the services. That is a very vital part of this whole project. That's where we can share the data from component from services. So that's where we will do in the next video. Sorry. So we will first look for basic stuff here. So we also created a component with the name of register, and that's where we will create a very basic register form, right? So let's go inside your app.module.ts file, and we will add up our very basic some router outlet and for our route. So let's go here just underneath the app component. I'm going to define here router module. So let's go inside your import. Actually should be import, and let's add here router module from the Angular slash, and it should be router, right? So that should be our Angular router. And I'm gonna also add the routes here as well. So let's go and add the routes here, and with the help of that I'm gonna add some routes. Just go inside your imports and define here routes. So let's const and give it the name of routes, and that's routes is coming from the Angular router. And I'm gonna create here an array because we have more than 2 routes. So let's create here more than one. So I just keep it very simple path, and I need to give it the path for my home component to be slash, which means that it's a base. So everything that you see here should be base URL, which is port number 4200 localhost. So this should be home. So I keep that empty, and I need to create here a component as well for the home. So let's create that. So I'm gonna just change that to the name of the component, which I want should be home. All right, so I created here a component of home, and this gonna create that. And let's go inside our routes and write our path. So path should be empty for the home, and I just need to give it the name of the component. So right here component, and the name of the component, which in my case should be home component. So I just missed the brackets actually inside here. I just cut this out and put that inside my parentheses. So component should be home component, right? And next we have to create for the registration. So let's create the path and give it the name of register, and component, and give it the name of the register component, right? So next we have our so path, and this should be login. So component, and give it the name of login component. All right. So we all created the routes for that, and next I need to just add it inside my router module. So let's go inside your imports and define our router module. And this should be router module dot for route, and let's define here routes, which should be coming from here, right? This variable. Okay, so we are good to go with our routes. And now if I just go back to my app.component.html, I need to define the router dash outlet, right? Saves it. And what I'm gonna do is that now you see here, this should be our home component. Now if I just go to slash register, so this is going to open up the register works. And if I go to my login, and you see now it's showing us the login works. So basically with the help of router dash outlet, we are able to route and navigate from one page to the another, right? So first step is done. Now we need to do a little bit registration form. Let's do it. So I'm going to go inside my register.component.html file, just remove that paragraph and create here a container. So container margin top 4, and inside here I'm going to create a very basic header. So that header I'm going to give it the class of bg-dark, and the text that I need here for should be wide, and need some padding 2, and margin bottom 2, and text of center, and let's give it the name of h1 tag and give a register. All right. Okay, so just underneath that header, I'm going to create my very basic form. We don't need any action. So later on, we are going to use with the help of submit, ng submit, we are going to submit the form. But right now in this video, I'm just going to create very basic structure there. So we will able to, in the next video, we are going to do some validation stuff like that, right? So let's create here a bootstrap class and form dash group. And I'm going to give it a label of name. And just right after the label, I'm going to create here input type of text. So let's create that and give it the name of name. And I also need to give it the class. I don't need the ID for now, at least. So let's give it the class of form dash control and give it the placeholder of enter name. All right. So this is fine for the form dash group, and I'm going to copy that up and just do and paste it down 3 times more, right? So this should be for the name, and next I need here the input type of email, and just change that to email. And I also need to change the placeholder. Let's do for the password. So input type of password, and name should be password. I just need to change that to top one to email, right? Okay, so we are good to go for the email. Now this should be the password, and enter password, and this should be for the confirmation password. Alright, so this should be for the confirm password, and input type of password, and let's change that to be confirm underscore password. Alright, so this should be enter confirm password. Alright, so now if I go back to the browser and let's have see to the registration form, and there we go, right? So we are very good looking form now. So name, email, and the password and the confirm password. So I'm going to do the same stuff for the login. So I'm going to copy that all, and let's paste this code inside our login.component.html. But we only need the just change that to login, and we only need the email and the password. So just remove the confirm password and as well as the name, right? Okay, so we have removed our unnecessary code, and let's go inside our login, and login looks fine to us, right? So the last thing that I need here is to go inside my home.component.html and just do some few changes, which might include some navbar or just navbar, okay, for now. Okay, so let's go to the get bootstrap, and let's go to the examples and get the navbar from here. So it should be let's go here inside this navbar, and I need actually the navbar which must have the drop down, so that will be helpful for getting the logout, right? So this is the navbar that I needed. So simply press Ctrl U and just grab all the nav from here, right? So just copy that all and paste that all inside your home.component.html. Remove this paragraph text and just simply press enter. And now if I go to my navbar, so let's remove the unnecessary stuff from here. So I don't need any form, just remove it from here, and that's fine for now. And just remove that to just keep that. Okay, so now remove this disable link, and as well as later on we are gonna change those name another action, so we will change that to something which includes name or which includes the logout, right? So just keep that for now and look here, and that's fine. Okay, so everything is working fine. Okay, so that part is done. So I just think so we are almost done with this part, And I'm going to create here a model. Yeah, I just need to create that model where we will include our all fields. So let's create here the model with the help of command. So ng g, and I need to create here a class. So let's create here a class and give it the name of the folder models, and it should be register model, and give it the dash type equal to model. I believe it should be the right syntax. Actually it should be dash type equal to model. Yeah, so this will help us to export the class automatically. I don't need to write. So if I just go inside my models, and there we go. So we have register.model.ts file. So we have three main fields, which is the name, and I just give it the type of any, which means that it could be any alphanumeric, or it could be integer. So any data type, right? So next we have our email, and the last we have just any, right, which is the password, right? So just saves it, and this will put no impact for us, right? So I hope this video is very much it for this video, and in the next video I'm going to create the very basic validation form, and we will add some services as well, and that's it, guys. So I hope you like this video. So don't worry for the next video. So I will upload it very soon, and it might be the next day, right? So thank you for watching, and I want to see you in the next part.